Hey there, just wanted to hop on here and show how we can easily swap out a printer in a Windows environment. As you can see here, I'm using Windows 11. I'm just going to go ahead down here and type the search bar, do a search for printer, pull up printers and scanners, and I have two options here, really one, because one is just saving you a PDF. But I got this printer here that I just plugged into my PC. It's an older printer, an HP 400M 451DN specifically. All I've done so far is just change the name to example printer. But if we go ahead there and click on the printer, go into printer properties and advanced, you can see when I plug the printer in, Microsoft just assigned it this generic driver. And in some cases that will work, but really for the printer to work consistently the way it should, we should really assign it a more specific driver, meaning a driver name that specifically says that model printer it's made for. So one way to do that is we could click on new driver here and it'll bring up this wizard. We can click next and we'll have some options here on the left of manufacturer. If you're not seeing yours, you can hit Windows Update. Sometimes that'll work where to pull down more. It typically takes a while. But you can go down here into your manufacturer of the printer and try to find the driver, and it'll work most of the time. But in my opinion, it's a little bit of a pain because you got tons of options here, and there's no type to search, and you could be thinking like that sounds right. That's probably going to match the printer, but in some cases it might not. So I personally think the easiest thing to do is to just grab the drivers from the web. So that's what I'm going to show us how to do here real quick. So I'm just going to go ahead and open a web browser here and do a search for the name of the printer, followed by the model number, followed by the word driver. And typically it'll be the first result. Just make sure that the URL is actually reflects the model of the printer and isn't just some random website. And then typically it's going to be prompting us to do this whole software package with the software and the drivers. But typically we really don't need all that. And especially if you're installing this or setting this up for someone else, you might not want to put all that extra stuff on their PC. So we're just going to click down here in basic drivers and then make sure it's this one that reflects the model name of the printer and is specific and is not just this universal one. So we're going to go ahead and click here and download it. And it'll take a couple seconds to download. But while it's doing so, we can go ahead and open the File Explorer, go to Downloads, and once it finishes, it'll show up here. There it is, and it's going to download as an executable typically, which is fine. We're just going to go ahead and click on it to run it, and it's going to extract the contents. And then when this UAC prompt comes up, we can go ahead and click Show More Details, and it's going to tell us here where it put all those files and stuff that it extracted, and we can just make a note mentally that it did so to C, and then it created this folder named after the model name of the printer. So we can actually close out of this and it'll say can't open it, that's fine. And then we can go to where it said it extracted it, which was the root of C, and we can just confirm it's there, which it is. And then we could go back here and open this back up in the settings where the printer was. And we could go ahead and click on printer properties again, go back to advanced, click new driver again, go through the same wizard, but this time we're going to say we have the disk. In my case, it looks like it's already seeing that this exists in C, which is good. But if it doesn't, that's fine. You can just hit browse and point it there. Go ahead and go through those steps anyway. So maybe it starts here, you just go PC, C, find it. And really any one of these INF files will work. Typically I probably wouldn't do the auto run one, but any of these are going to be good. Just pick one of the .inf files and click open and click OK, and then next, finish. Now we're going to want to go ahead and hit apply here, and I actually left something in here intentionally. You might see this error here, and we're going to click OK. If you do see that, all you got to do is unshare the printer. So go back to sharing, and unshare it. If of course it's already unshared, you can ignore that part. But then once that's done, we can then hit apply, and then once it finishes, hit OK, and you can share it again if you wish, or just leave it unshared. But in my opinion, that's the best way to pull down the driver, because then you just have it sitting locally on the PC, the driver files. You don't have to go through that window to try to find it. You're not installing extra software. You know it's right. But yeah, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to leave a comment and I'll try to get back to you. Thanks.